Okay, so we're going to start out with 10 rounds out of a factory Glock magazine. This is just Winchester 115 grain. We're just going to do a quick magazine dump here. And the bolt held open on the last round. It's just like Christmas. Here's my upper, baby. How you doing? All right, thank you. Oh, sorry, got dog mania here. Come on, Darla, come on. Oh, oops, sorry. Darla, come on. Come on. Man. Darla. To the point, informative, entertaining, and protecting the Second Amendment. Welcome back to Elster's Rifles Reloading and the start of this epic Foxtrot Mike 9mm AR firearm series review. And make note that this is part 1. Now, what sets this particular 9mm AR firearm apart from the rest? Well, first it's its price. With a starting price tag of $499 off of Primary Arms, it definitely fits the bill as a working man's price tag firearm. Second, top that off with a revolutionary last round bolt hold open and side charging. There simply is no other company that even comes close, especially for the price. Now, the other parts of this series will go over such topics as more general function above and beyond part 1, the features, actual reloading, and load development for the specific 9mm AR pistol, and eventually shooting this bad boy with a suppressor. Now, I simply can't squeeze that much detailed information into one single part, so it's really important to make sure you subscribe to my channel so you get those notifications the second the other parts of the series are uploaded to YouTube. So enough of this intro BS. Let's get this going on part 1 and the general function of this Foxtrot Mike 9mm AR pistol with its 10.5-inch tri-lug barrel for eventual suppressor attachment. And if you haven't noticed, right now it's about 17 degrees in the great northern woods of Wisconsin, and I'm trenching through about 2 to 3 feet of snow, and I'm going to try my best for you guys to make this right. So make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video series. Let's get this going. Okay, so we're going to try another 10 rounds with a factory Glock mag, same ammunition. We're going to do a left-leaning barricade situation. Okay, another 10 rounds, same magazine. We're going to try a right-leaning barricade situation here. No problems with failure to feed or eject. Alright, so we got a mag pull magazine, 10 rounds, same ammo. No problems with failure to feed or eject. And the bolt held open on the last round. Okay, so I got a full 30 round Glock factory mag. Just got to do a quick ammo dump here. And the bolt held open in the last round. Good to go. So let's just quick test how freely these magazines drop. We're going to start out with the Glock factory 33 round magazine. Glock 17 factory round mag. And the PMag 21. So unloaded with the red dot, Magpul backup iron sights, and the bipod adapter, she weighs in at 6 pounds, 1 ounce. And fully loaded with a Glock factory 33 round mag, 7 pounds, 1 ounce. So before we dive into the features of this Foxtrot mic FM9, we're just gonna quick double check the trigger pull on this FM Products match grade competition trigger. Quick double check, the chamber is empty.
3 pounds, 13 ounces. 3 pounds, 15 ounces. 4 pounds, 2 ounces. 4 pounds, 2 ounces.
For an average of 4 pounds. So let's quick dive into the external features and upgrades that I did on this FM9. Now, just to get this out of the way, as some people freak out when you put bipods on pistols. For those that haven't heard of a Ruger 22 Charger that comes with a bipod. Obviously, I'm doing this just for the video. It helps keep the firearm upright, makes it easier to shoot. And obviously, when I'm doing the accuracy testing, I'm going to want to use a bipod. I'm not going to want to freehand that. I'm going to squeeze out as much accuracy as possible. So that's why I have a bipod on the pistol. So don't freak out. I don't get it why some people freak out about putting a bipod on the pistol, but hey, whatever. So in order to get this Harris bipod on this firearm, I did have to purchase a Magpul M-Lock bipod mount. And I didn't have to grind down the bolts on this, especially with the 10.5 inch tri-lug barrel. I had no issues at all with those bolts clearing the barrel. But I'm pretty sure if you were to get the models with a fake can on them, there is a possibility that those bolts are going to come close to that fake can. So you might have to grind down those bolts just a little bit if you plan on putting on a bipod. Now, I highly suggest upgrading the grip. I'm a huge fan of the Magpul MOE grip. It's model number MAG 415. Strictly for its storage capabilities. Usually store inside my grip the cleaning cloth and removal tool for my red dot and other spare parts just in case I need them out in the range. So if you're not applying for an SBR and you're going to go the AR pistol route, I highly recommend going with the SBA 3 for its adjustment capabilities. I think I got this off Arm and Ally, shipped for $115, somewhere around there. And for its adjustment capabilities, in my opinion, for the price, there's no other pistol brace that comes close to it. Now, if you're new to the 9mm AR world, keep in mind that this takes Glock style mags. There are other AR 9mm pistols that take Colt style mags, and even some like the Evo, this take obviously Scorpion magazines. Keep that in mind when buying your magazines. Now for the red dot, I went with the Romeo 5. I got this off Palmetto State Armory. I shipped roughly $120. And I literally just uploaded a video of why I think this is hands down the best bang for your buck red dot on the market today. And I also got the rear and front Magpul M-Bus backup iron sights, also off of Palmetto State Armory, shipped for roughly $55. Now your standard FM9s come with a poly charging handle. I actually upgraded that to the Paratrooper here. In order to get this, you need to contact FM Products from their website. Just tell them that you're interested in getting this, and they'll send you information on how to get this shipped to you for roughly 30 bucks. Now, this paratrooper does have its own specific trolley and charging handle assembly. There's a little Allen key in the front here that is proprietary for the specific charging handle, so keep that in mind. Now, regardless if it's the paratrooper or the poly charging handle, there is a slight, I wouldn't even call it an issue, I'd say it's just a slight annoyance if you're going with the Magpul M-Bus front sight. And that minor issue is just to make sure that your charging handle clears the bottom part of your front sight where it clamps onto the Picatinny rail itself. You know, the plastic of these Magpul M-Bus front sights, they're a little fat underneath here. And just to make sure that you have no issues with your charging handle clearing as you run that action, is you just need to ever so slightly sand down the bottom part of both sides of the M-Bus front sight itself, and it's really not that difficult. You know, just run it on some sandpaper, and you only need to remove, I would guess, maybe a 1/64 of an inch. I mean, it is paper thin, and it really doesn't take that long. Now, while I'm on the subject of these Magpul M-Bus front and rear sights, my front sight went on the Picatinny rail pretty smooth. It was pretty easy to slide that on and get in position. I mean, other than the slight annoyance of sanding the bottom side to clear the charging handle, it wasn't an issue. But as for the back rear sight, I did have to tap that in place with a rubber mallet ever so slightly to get in position. I mean, it did go on, but I'm just gonna forewarn you, at least for me, it was pretty tight. Just as a side note, just make sure you push this ahead far enough so that this key block can flip up so you can eventually remove your bolt. And I also upgraded to the ambi safety, and FM Products did this right. And if you notice on the other side, they shorten the leg of this side of the safety. So when you make your grip, it doesn't gouge into your finger, which I know a lot of guys with the Evo Scorpions were having a huge issue with. Now, in my opinion, what sets the FM9 apart from other 9mm AR pistols, I mean, yes, its side charges and all that, it's great, but its real key feature is its last round bolt hold open feature. And it's a really robust steel all the way through the entire assembly from front to back. You know, it's not like some really skimpy bent sheet metal that's eventually just going to get damaged. It also can't fall off the follower like other ones that rotate. And lastly, it has a huge mechanical advantage due to the lifter being so far out from the arm. Now, I did start out with FM9's standard mil-spec AR-15 trigger, and trust me when I say this, don't even get it. It is about as mil-spec as it gets. And I think the pull rating on it was, what, 7-8 pounds, and the creep was ungodly. So I'd highly suggest upgrading to the FM Products FM9 match grade competition trigger, and it gives a real smooth, consistent two-stage pull with a clean break, and it really reminds me of my Rock River Arms two-stage match trigger. And it's nickel boron to boot. And this might be something to double check with FM Products, but I don't see why it wouldn't take any other drop-in trigger. Now, Brownells does sell two different lowers on these FM Products. One standard with the standard safety and the mil-spec trigger, but I highly recommend just beelining it to the premium lower. It already has your ambi safety and the upgraded trigger, and you're good to go. And the buffer comes in at 6.6 ounces. And the bolt and the barrel have a long duration, deep penetration salt bath nitride finish, which makes it really easy to clean and also increases its resistance to wear. Now, while I'm on the subject of that salt bath nitride finish, just some words of advice. When you first get your FM9, make sure you clean that barrel really good, especially the chamber. There is the possibility in my past experience with these salt bath nitride finishes that some salt can build up within the chamber, and it's super important to make sure you clean out that chamber and that barrel before taking those shots. Now initially I was going to go with an Fm9 upper that had the fake can, and I ended up changing my mind at the last minute. I ended up going with the tri-lug and the 10.5 inch option. I guess my reasoning is it's better to have it than not to have it. But if there's no chance that you're going to put a suppressor on, then you're fine with the fake can uppers. But for me, you can easily slap on a tri-lug adapter depending on the suppressor that you have, and you can easily put that suppressor on and off this tri-lug barrel with no tools. It really is awesome. Now, at least for me, I like to get these Magpul bipod adapters, obviously for putting on a bipod, for doing accuracy testing. It does make my life easier when doing these YouTube videos, but I also like to get these for another reason, and that is to give me a reminder when I'm grasping this handrail to not slide up my hand too far and too close to this muzzle. The last thing you want to do is grab that hand guard and possibly the front of that muzzle while you're pulling the trigger. You're not going to have a good day, trust me. Well, now that we're past part 1 and just general function, fit, quality, options, upgrades, we can move on to part 2, where I'm most likely going to run these different types of factory ammunition with different bullet grain weights at 25 and 50 yards with 2 5-shot groups each. And as of right now, part 2 is completely dependent on Mother Nature, especially in the northern woods of Wisconsin. Now, if you've been a subscriber for some time now, especially if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you most likely know that I already have a 9-part in-depth series of how to reload for precision ammunition in a rifle. But I think most likely in part 3 that I'm going to have a complete separate part on how to reload for pistol ammunition, especially in this scenario, a pistol caliber carbine. Well, I hope you find the first part of this series on the Fm9 helpful, especially if you're thinking about buying this particular firearm. Make sure you subscribe so the second the other parts of the series are uploaded to YouTube, you get that notification. Like and share, and I'll see you next time. And oh yeah, don't forget one of these. You're definitely gonna need it. There's no doubt about that.